Hi, this is Karen White of Divine Time Astrology, and today I'm showing you how simple horary astrology can be. There will also be a short quiz at the end, so you can test how well you absorbed the information. In this horary chart, which is a contest chart, we only use 3 of the planets. And that is the first house ruler, the 7th house ruler, and the moon. Now, since this is a contest chart, well, what makes it a contest chart is the question. As you can see, which one will win, Hillary or Donald? A client came to me and she was really worried that Donald Trump would win. So obviously she wanted Hillary to win. It was the only choice at that point. So this means that the querent and Hillary are on the same team. But the querent's not actually in the chart because there's no need for her to be in the chart. She has Venus, Hillary, to represent her team. And as we see here on the first house cusp is Taurus. Taurus is ruled by Venus. So Venus here in the sign of Scorpio is representing Hillary in this contest chart. And then directly across from the first house is the 7th house. This is the house of open enemies. And this would be the same thing if you were doing a sports horary. Your team would be represented by the first house, and the opponent's team, the team that you don't want to win, would be the 7th house. Well, we see here the 7th house has Scorpio on the cusp, which means that it is ruled by Mars. And Mars here is representing Donald, the opponent. Okay, so let's first look at the dignity of the planets, what is called the essential dignity of the planets. We see here that Hillary is in Donald's house. She's inside the cusp. If she were right on the outside of the cusp, then that would be a good sign. But she's inside the house, and she's ruled by Donald, which means she's really worried that Donald is much stronger than she is. Well, let's go to Donald's planet and see if that's true. And we see her Mars is in the sign of Capricorn. Mars is exalted in the sign of Capricorn, which means he is very strong. His essential dignity is very strong. Now, what's also interesting about exaltation, though, is that it's a bit exaggerated. And we watched that throughout the whole presidential campaign, that Donald is definitely a very Mars person, and he talked about his strength. And he appears a bit stronger than he actually is, or the way he actually feels, but that doesn't matter. In terms of the contest chart, his planet being exalted means that his planet is way stronger than Hillary's. Hillary's planet is in detriment. Now, there is another concept that I can show you here in this chart, and that is the concept of accidental dignity. Any planet in one of the angular houses, see the 1st, the 4th, the 7th, or the 10th, is a planet that has accidental dignity, even if its essential dignity is weak. So Hillary here is in an angular house. I think that this shows why she won the popular vote. But then when the Electoral College voted, we see that actually the people really wanted was Donald. So let's look at the people. The people is the moon here. They're represented by the moon. The moon is in the sign of Aries. Aries is ruled by Mars. This means that the people wanted Donald, and they did not want Hillary, because Venus is in detriment in the sign of Aries. So this means the people didn't want Hillary as president. Another interesting feature of this chart is that the moon is in the 12th house, which to me means that the people voted for Donald in secret. A lot of people voted for Donald in secret. The way that we vote in this country is we can vote anonymously so that nobody knows who we voted for. So they may have said that they voted for Hillary, but they actually voted for Donald. Okay, Donald's planet doesn't have accidental dignity. His planet is in a house that actually has the least amount of strength in terms of position or placement. But in a contest chart, the only thing that really matters is the aspect between the moon, which is the people who will determine the outcome of this contest, and whether or not it makes contact with Donald's planet first or Hillary's planet first. Well, we see that the moon wants Donald, and it does indeed aspect Donald's planet first. In fact, it never aspects Hillary's planet while it's in the sign of Aries. Now, this aspect is a square aspect because Aries and Capricorn are 4 signs away from each other, and that creates a square. They're actually 4 and 10. So Capricorn is 10 signs away from Aries, and Aries is 4 signs away from Capricorn. So, and we saw that too. There was some difficulty in Donald getting elected. He has experienced a lot of opposition from a lot of people. He still is, actually, but he's the president. He's the one who won the contest. Okay, so now for the little quiz. What kind of chart is this? Number 2, what is the most important thing that has to happen in this chart? Number 3, what is accidental dignity? And number 4, why did Donald win even though his planet was in the 9th, not an angular house? So you can pause the video now and write down your answers, and then come back and I will give you the answers to the quiz. Okay, so now here we are, the answers to the quiz. Number 1, what kind of chart is this? The answer is a contest chart. It's used the same way that a sports horary chart would be done. Number 2, what is the most important thing that has to happen in this chart to determine the outcome of the contest? The answer, an aspect showing the event, the moon aspecting Donald's planet first. Number 3, what is accidental dignity? The answer, when a planet is one of the angles of the chart, the 1st, the 4th, the 7th, or the 10th. And then finally, number 4, why did Donald win even though his planet was in the 9th, not an angular house? The answer, because of the aspect from the people's planet, the moon, to his planet. His planet was aspected first, which showed that the people wanted him to win. So this is just an example of what I'll be teaching in my upcoming Horary Astrology, an in-depth course and practice coming early this summer 2017. Stay tuned for more information and more chart examples. This is Karen White of Divine Time Astrology. Until next time.